Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with Today in Sports Betting Hump Day style. This is part two, everybody. We did our bowl game show. Now we're going to take a look at some of our favorite basketball bets. For right now, as long as football is still going on, we're just kind of going to merge the basketball shows together. I think eventually we'll separate those out and do a college basketball show and an NBA show. But honestly, folks, I've only got so much bandwidth, all right? So it's hard to get a really good handle on all the sports right now. So I'm going to concentrate mainly on football. I know Scott is a big basketball guy.
Yeah, we kind of went the opposite ways on this one, but it's a perfect balance, so it works itself out pretty well.
Yeah, it does. So let's talk about a couple college games. We'll talk about a good one that's going to be going early this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Same time as the New Orleans Bowl, Scott. How will we choose?
It's really the $1,000,000 question.
It's the Xavier Musketeers going up against the Creighton. What the hell are they? Blue Jays. The Blue Jays.
Well done. Look at you.
I had to pull that one. Creighton 7-point favorite. Total on this one's 152. Scott, I'm a big fan of this Creighton team. How about you?
I think they're good, but knowing Creighton, they'll probably end up losing in the Sweet 16 or something because that's what they usually do. But this team's good. Offensively, of course, they're great with Zagaransky, Mahoney, Bishop. They got a lot of great players offensively, and there's a reason why they're averaging 85 points per game. Now, if you want to look at the recent results, been pretty good. That was a pretty disappointing loss to Marquette, though, at home last week. But they rallied, and they're beating St. John's by 18. As somebody who roots for St. John's, I'm not that impressed by that victory, but congratulations to them for winning that game. And they ended up beating UConn on the road by 2 in overtime in their last game, which is pretty good. Meanwhile, Xavier has just been flying all the way under the radar as they are still undefeated. They're 8-0, and each of their last 3 wins have come by at least 8 points, with 2 of them coming by at least 22 points. So this team has been playing really well lately. Kind of similar to Creighton in the sense that offensively they are just really good. Actually, sorry, they ended up beating Marquette in their last game by 3. I didn't see that on the bottom. But still, 8-0, been really good, and they're averaging 84-plus points per game. I think this game should be an offensive showcase. I wouldn't be surprised to see this game feature a ton of points. I would lean to the over because I don't exactly see many stops. Now, I know that money has come in on the under. It's opened up at 154.5. It's currently down to 152.5. I would probably wait it out a little bit longer to see where the money's going to come in on. I do think that 7 is a decent amount of points, though, especially for a Creighton team that lost to Marquette at home in their last home game. So I'm not exactly sold on this big spread for Creighton. But the one thing I do know is that Xavier is going to be missing somebody for this game due to COVID. So that is a bit concerning, looking at specifically Dwan Odom, who is questionable because of COVID, so I'm not really sure if he's going to play or not. Is he a big contributor to this team? Not really. He's a bench player. He's averaging 6.4 points per game, but he's also averaging 4.6 assists and 3.6 rebounds per game. Yep. So he's kind of a jack of all trades for that team. I'm kind of curious if that's going to have a huge impact on Xavier. I don't think it really will. But looking at this matchup here, I kind of like Xavier. I'll lean Xavier plus the points, and I'll also lean to the over because I do think that both offenses should have some success against these defenses. Plus, if you combine each of their last 7 games, 7-0 to the over, I got to lean to the over.
Well, Creighton's actually 6-1. The KU game went under.
According to what I'm looking at, no, Creighton's their last 4 games went over. And Xavier their last 3 games went over.
Yeah, correct. Creighton's cashed 4 in a row, 6 of their last 7, with the only exception being against an excellent.
I said both teams combined in their last 7, but I should have just because Creighton had 4, Xavier had 3. But I was saying that they're 7-0 to the over.
I got you. All right, and then Xavier's hit 5 of 6 and 3 in a row.
So I know that money has come in on the under because these teams historically have gone under. Like 5 of the last 9 have gone under, but looking at recent results, each of the last 4 have gone under. So that's kind of why. But both these offenses are just really good. I don't want to be really on the under on this side.
Yeah, agreed. And this is a Creighton team. We didn't really touch on it, but they came within a free throw of taking KU to overtime.
I had the over in that game, so don't remind me.
Yeah, they spun out on 145 with 150 as the over total, which would have been an automatic in overtime, of course. Yeah, both of these teams are playing really good basketball right now. Xavier's like you said, they're undefeated. They've covered 4 straight. Creighton, a little underachieving. Of course, they've been on the road too. So
Well,
we'll
the
just
only
have.
underachieving part's the home loss to Marquette. I'm not going to blame them for losing uh, to Kansas by 1 on the road. I mean, that's just
No, I don't. I don't love. I don't love not covering against UConn though.
yeah, that's definitely true.
I'm not sure what we've got there against UConn. Creighton has done very well against bad teams. They beat up on Uno. They beat up on St. John's. They beat up on Nebraska. Of course, Kennesaw State, although they did not cover against Kennesaw State, by the way, which is what happens when you lay 37. You come up 2 points short. But yeah, I'm with you on the over here, Scott. And I think you've got two teams that are fairly evenly matched. I think Creighton's a little better team, especially at home, but I'm not sure they're 7 points better. I like the points there as well.
Yeah, that's how I view it. And I'm assuming we're in agreement that even though money has come in towards the under, I don't exactly want to be on the under in this spot.
No, I don't. I want no part of the under there. For me, it's over or pass.
Yep, I agree.
All right, and then we've got a pretty good game late, Scott, as the Villanova Wildcats take on the Marquette. It used to be the Warriors. What are they now?
The Golden Eagles.
The Golden Eagles, of course they are. Villanova is a 5-point road favorite here. 140.5 is your total. Take it away, my friend.
Well, Villanova might be the 5th team in the country, just based on rankings. I haven't really been that impressed by them throughout the course of the year. They had a pretty poor start to the season. They've looked a lot better lately. If you look at them beating Texas in Texas, Texas is a ranked team. That's a good win there. Beat Georgetown by 13. They were trailing by about 18 in the first half and then came from behind. Beat Butler. Butler is awful, though. They lost to Southern Illinois the other day, so that doesn't really mean much.
About beat Mizzou last night. Probably should have.
Well, that was Bradley.
Or Bradley. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Bradley should have won that game, but that's a separate story.
Yeah, they absolutely should have.
So, yeah, they beat Butler. Butler's just bad. I mean, they lost to Southern Illinois. This team's not very good. And they ended up beating St. Joe's by 20, and St. Joe's is not good either. So Villanova's beating up on some bad teams. Meanwhile, Xavier's kind of hit a bit of a funk. They've lost 3 of their last 4. However, good competition. You lose to UCLA. UCLA's had a bit of a down year, but they still have some talent. Beat Creighton. Good win there on the road. Lost to Seton Hall at home. Seton Hall, I think, is pretty good. And they lost to Xavier on the road by 3. So they were competitive in some of those games. I'd lean to Villanova. It really wouldn't see if there was a home crowd, I would probably take Marquette because I think this is a prime spot for an underdog. But I just think Villanova's the better team. I know Villanova's not good on the boards, which is a problem, but Marquette, simply put, without Marcus Howard and company from last year, I just don't think they have enough offensive firepower to stick with Villanova. And Villanova, as we've seen before, has the ability to clamp down defensively at various stretches where you just can't score on them. And I don't think Marquette has that gear. I think Marquette will be competitive for a half, and then I think Villanova will come out of the gates. Jay Wright will come up with some game plan defensively, and you will see a 5-minute stretch or so where Marquette just can't hit anything. And I think that Villanova will eventually go on some type of 10-0 run or something like that and blow the game open. So I'll lean Villanova, and this game will be close. I think Nova will probably win by around 7 or so.
That sounds about right. This is a Marquette team that's kind of been overvalued by the markets, especially lately. Like I said, failing to cover in 4 of their last 5.
I think it was the win against Wisconsin that people thought, oh, this team might actually be pretty good. And it's like, no, this team's fine, I guess.
Yeah, after that, and that's exactly what hit us because they ended up, winning and covering 3 of their first 4, and then kind of have been overvalued since then. So I think this is another case. Agreed with a home crowd. Would be a lot different situation, but I think Villanova takes care of business here as well. You got a thought on the total?
Well, I know that this total seems a bit low between these two teams because of the fact that both teams have the ability to score. It's at 140.5, around 141. I know they opened to 141, so it really hasn't moved too much. A little bit of under money. I'm not taking the over. I'd probably lean to the under as well. But truth is, I have no interest in playing the total.
Yeah, the under hasn't cashed in the last 4 meetings, or the over hasn't cashed in the last 4 meetings between these two teams.
See, I can't use that argument because I leaned over in the Creighton
I
game, and
know.
that's gone under in the last 5. But
Well, I mean,
mostly because I'm looking at Marquette, and you still think, oh, Marcus Howard, they go up and down they just don't do that anymore because Howard's not there. So they have more of a team-oriented offense. McEwen's their main scorer, who's been solid this year. They have Garcia, they have Carton, all these guys who are fine. But you lose your top 2 scorers who are the primary ball handlers from last year's team. Your team's going to have to make some adjustments. And it seems like Marquette has kind of adopted this slower style of offense in the absence of Howard, who is the premium fast break up-tempo point guard because he just wanted to shoot it from the parking lot when he crosses half court.
right.
So I'll lean under, but I'm not going to touch it. But I do think Villanova will barely cover.
Okay. Good enough. All right. So that covers college.
Let's you lean to the under also in that game?
Yeah. If gun to my head, I'm going to play the under. The Marquette has definitely turned into a much more methodical set piece kind of team. So, yeah, I'll lean under there. I like the Villanova play better. I'm with you though. NBA, Scott, we got one game. You mentioned it starts at 10 p.m.
Starts at 10:30 actually.
10:30 p.m. Even better. 10 p.m. 10:30 p.m. Eastern time.
By the way, just to be clear, when we're talking about the NBA games, I think we're for the sake of splitting the videos or keeping them together with college basketball, I think NBA we're only going to be talking about television games, which I think is the agreement we basically made. So if there's no TV games, we'll call an audible, but for the most part, we'll talk about games that you can actually watch.
Correct. And yeah, like I said, that's going to change once football kind of dies down. But right in the middle of bowl season here, NFL is getting ready to start their playoffs. That's where my main focus is going to be is on football. But we will touch on basketball daily and talk about the games that are on TV. Pretty good one tonight, Scott. A little bit of a pick'em between the Suns and the Mavericks. I know that you're high on the Suns team going into the season. I'm a big fan of this Dallas team. I'm kind of curious to see.
Well, Tom, I never said I was low on Dallas. I just said
that. I know. I didn't say that.
It's a solid team.
I just said you were high on Phoenix.
I'm also high on Doncic, who I made a video involving the MVP. Spoiler alert, and he was my pick.
Okay, very good. The Suns really as good as the Mavericks, guy?
Well, it's the Mavericks without Porzingis. So Porzingis is going to be out for a little while as he ended up having surgery. So he's not going to be playing in this game. Phoenix,
what a shocker.
Yeah, I know. He's always injured. But he's a good player. It's unfortunate that he's another 7-footer whose legs never stay healthy, which is pretty upsetting. But still, you look at Phoenix and you have to wonder, it was pretty much a tale of, I can't even say 2 seasons, but it was a tale of, I don't know, about a season and 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because they were undefeated in the bubble. They were the only team to do so. And you have to wonder how much of that is going to translate to success this season. They made a couple of changes in the offseason. I actually liked the roster moves they ended up making. They ended up picking up Chris Paul, which was the main move. They got rid of Rubio, who I thought Rubio was a great fit on that team. But, of course, Chris Paul's just a significantly better version because he actually, is a future Hall of Famer and one of the best point guards of all time. So that's also that's a massive upgrade there. They got Jay Crowder, who I think is fine. Not a big Crowder guy, but he brings a bit of toughness to that team, which I think would help. They also ended up they're going to be using Mikal Bridges as the projected starting small forward. I don't like Bridges at all. I don't think he's very good. But looking at this team, Saric is out, which is a bit of, I'd say, an issue. Not really as much as Porzingis, of course, but Saric played some good minutes in the bubble. The spread and the total are, I feel like, kind of spot on here. You got Phoenix as a -1, and you also have the over-under at around 234. Look, first glance, I'm not taking the under. I'll tell you that much. No chance I'm taking the under in this game.
Not sure where the defense is going to come from in this one.
Well, especially with both teams that are mostly going to be going small because Porzingis is out.
Right.
You're looking at Finney-Smith and Powell as the power forward center combo. You got Jay Crowder and Ayton as the projected power forward center combo. I expect a bunch of 3-pointers, bunch of fast, quick possessions. Both teams get into the 120s. It really would not surprise me.
Yeah, I think I think the over is probably going to be my favorite play because this is a Dallas team that showed last year when Porzingis was out. They like to play fast.
Yeah.
And they like to obviously try to ISO on to get Luka open, and not afraid to shoot is Luka Doncic. So
neither is Devin Booker, so I expect both.
Very, very true. I'll take the over. I want to see how CP3 fits into this Phoenix team.
I have to assume he's going to fit in well because CP3's kind of fit in well wherever he's been.
Yeah, he's been able to acclimate wherever he goes. I'm not sure that's going to be the case in the first game. Yeah, I guess I'm probably going to lean Suns here, but yeah, the over is the play that I really like in that game. What do you got? You got a side?
I think we're kind of on the same page here. It's a matter of I think Dallas with Porzingis, of course, would end up being. I don't know how many points I think Porzingis is worth when healthy. I'd say maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's probably right.
So I would lean Dallas if Porzingis was playing, but I just really think the Suns team is going to do well this year. I don't think they're going to be making any huge playoff runs or anything like that, but I really like this team. And Phoenix actually had a lot of success against Dallas last year. And I'm not saying it's going to carry over into this year, but Phoenix, I feel like they found something in the bubble last year. I know they ended up taking some of those pieces and moving them, but I just really like how they finished the year. And I think that Dallas is going to be really good, but I just think that this is a good spot for Phoenix to basically say, all right, we're legit here. Let's get it done.
You think it's easier for momentum to carry over since it's only been 61 days since the end of the NBA Finals, as opposed to normally you got June, you got to wait till the end of October to get NBA going. So do you think it's easier to carry that momentum since there's a shorter period of time involved?
It might be. It also helps when you bring back the majority of your roster from those teams and, you shipped off your starting point guard. So I don't know how much it's going to carry over, but I think the Suns definitely grew as a team that was very, very young based on the overall makeup of the roster. And they definitely matured over those days in the bubble, which I think will have some solid long-term effects for the Suns. But Dallas is very good. But at the end of the day, I simply look at Porzingis and potentially Kleber being out and just saying, I think it's a little bit too much, but I'll lean to the over because I really think that you should see both teams potentially get into the 120s. This game
I think taking Porzingis away out of the middle is a good thing for the over right there.
This game is going to be a war. I don't think this game is going to be a one-sided affair. I think this game will come down to the wire, which is exactly how you want a TV game to go. But I just see points. I think both teams are just going to go up and down.
All right, very good. That covers basketball. Any final thoughts on basketball today, Scott?
Not really. I thought about maybe doing a video on maybe a matchup or two, but truth is, there's so much uncertainty with some of these teams that I thought I might as well take a wait-and-see approach, try to see if there's any teams that stand out to me. I feel like most of my opinions involving basketball are going to be revolving around fading bad teams. I thought about giving out Minnesota last night at 4.5. That's up to 6 because Detroit's going to be god-awful in that game, or at least this season. I thought about maybe looking at Houston against Oklahoma City, but now Harden might not be able to play, so there's some rumors going on there. I don't want to touch that because I don't trust Houston, so I'm going to stay away from that one. But overall, a couple of really, really bad teams, and in the NBA, once you find yourself a bad team, you might want to start blindly fading them. That's kind of my tip for basketball.
Very good. Welcome to another edition of Plays Scott's Not Making. Good.
I can't say I'm not going to make. I'm going to be making plays moving forward. I just wanted to take a wait-and-see approach.
Good enough. All right. And, of course, if you're looking for more information on these games and any other games, the one place to go is winnersandwhiners.com. Deep dives into every game, every sport, every day, always free, winnersandwhiners.com. And, of course, we do this each and every day on Today in Sports Betting. Of course, Scott and I do our own individual videos as well. I'm doing a whole series on all the bowl games, so look for those in my Wacky Bowl Game shirt, of course. Easy to spot. And if you're digging what we're doing, you appreciate the effort, maybe even making a little money on our advice, we'd appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up for the video. Consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, along with, yes, that's right, 10,000 of your closest friends. So, make sure you take care of business there. Click the bell, get notified each and every time we put up brand new content. But I think that's going to do it for today. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Winers, Wishing you nothing but the best. Hoping every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. You guys are great. Have a great day. Good luck on all of your plays. And we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.